Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin, and welcome to Cavalcade of Food.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph behind the camera. What are we doing today?
Zucchini time.
It's that
time of year. The zucchini's going crazy. If you've grown it in your garden, you probably have it, by the galore. It's all over the farm market.
In fact, we bought these today, $3 for $1.
$3 for $1.
Off a farm stand right off the road, one of those honor system ones.
Yeah, a little coffee can. You put the money in. It's wonderful. And that's how they do it up here in the thumb. But what we're doing is, Ralph, you'd been talking for a while that you kind of wanted me to make eggplant Parmesan.
Right.
However, we haven't really run across any eggplants lately. I'm not sure when eggplant season is, but
the zucchini's plentiful.
Yes, and so you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a variation. We're going to make zucchini Parmesan.
Good. I can't wait to try it.
So it's essentially a baked casserole, right? This will be a vegetarian dish. So here's what I'm doing. I'm slicing the zucchini. I'm slicing it into rounds. You could slice it lengthwise if you wanted to.
And I notice you're slicing it rather
fairly
thick.
On the thick side, at least a half an inch thick.
Okay.
Then what we're going to do, and I'm going to start with the biggest pieces first, is we're going to bread them, and then we're going to fry them in a pan. So just like you would if we're making eggplant Parmesan. So what I'm going to do is, let me get my olive oil going here. We're going to take a frying pan, and we're going to put a nice coating of olive oil in here.
Bring that up to temperature.
And then in the meantime, let me get a couple of eggs over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an egg wash, and we're going to do breadcrumbs. Okay, so that's kind of how we're going to go from one to the other. So an egg wash is simply eggs and then usually a little bit of water.
Warm water, or does it matter?
No, it's just, room temperature.
So then you take a fork and you whisk it up?
Yep. And we're going to get this all mixed up.
How much water did you put?
Oh, I probably put in a couple of tablespoons
for 3 eggs.
Water
okay.
For 3 eggs. And so now okay, so there's our egg wash, pretty mixed. Then we've got breadcrumbs. Now this is up to you. You can use the panko, which are the Japanese style. They're kind of a coarser breadcrumb, and we've used those for other things before, and we like those. You can use regular breadcrumbs. Of course, some people make their own, and that's wonderful.
And you can season them when you make them yourself?
Yes, you sure can. Now, we got the Italian style. So basically what this is...
these are already seasoned breadcrumbs.
These are already seasoned, okay. And so it's pretty much your regular breadcrumbs, but you can see there's parsley and a little basil, a little oregano.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got 2 plates here. Now I'm just using some cake pans, but we could use whatever.
What about, how much breadcrumbs did you put in there? Maybe a cup's worth?
Yeah, at least a cup. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the larger ones, and we're going to go like this, Ralph. We're going to give it a nice coating. Okay?
So start with the egg wash.
Yep.
Put them in the breadcrumbs.
And then on a plate. So, again, we're going to give it a good
soaking.
Yep, in the egg wash, and then in our breadcrumbs.
So they're not going directly into the casserole pan, or whatever you call this thing here?
No, that is what we're going to actually bake it in.
But why do they need to sit?
What do you mean?
They're sitting here for...
Well, because they're going to go in the frying pan. We have to brown them.
Oh,
right?
I forgot about that.
So that's the next step. So what I'm going to do is let me just keep going and get all of our zucchini nice and coated with these Italian breadcrumbs.
That sounds good. All right,
and then I'll come back, and you know what? We'll start browning them. By the time then, the oil will be nice and hot. Okay, we are ready with the first batch. Can you smell that olive oil?
Yes, it smells delicious.
Yeah, a good way to, if you're ever not sure, we're going to put a little I'm going to sprinkling the breadcrumbs. You see them sizzling there?
That's how you know the oil is
Oil
hot
is
enough?
ready, yeah. So I'm going to just place these. And again, we want to put just a nice brown on them. Okay?
Right, just get them, because they're going to bake for a while as well, I imagine.
Yeah. And you know when you cook zucchini, it gets soft very easily. Of course, there's a lot of water in zucchini.
Maybe that's why they do eggplant Parmesan more, because it's a little tougher. Maybe it cooks longer, or you know what I mean? It's not as...
Could be. Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't have as much water.
I like both, so I'm really curious though to try the eggplant.
Yeah.
I mean the zucchini Parmesan.
It smells great already.
Yeah, look at the pretty pattern you made.
So what we're do is we're going to brown these, and then we're going to take them out.
How many minutes would you estimate on each side?
Well, it's going to be hard to say.
Are you going to turn them?
Yes, I will turn them. We're going to brown them on both sides. So
couple minutes, maybe 3 minutes on each side?
Here, you know what? Let's take a look. We're going to here's the first one. See how it's just starting to brown? See that nice color?
And you can actually smell it's kind of getting a toasty, breadcrumby smell.
So what we want is that nice brownness to be uniform
consistent
across.
Yeah, gotcha.
And while that's cooking, I'm going to do the rest of these pieces, still doing our egg wash and our breadcrumbs, and we'll get the next batch ready for the fryer. And then we'll start putting it together. Hey, I made a quick tomato sauce. Now, the reason we didn't show me making this is because this is the same sauce I make all the time. If you want to see my recipe for a quick tomato sauce, look at the stuffed shells episode. And there we actually showed me making the sauce.
Okay.
So we're going to use that with our zucchini Parmigiano. Okay, we are turning over our second batch.
That's the first batch there.
That's the first. See that nice? That's just how we're doing it, Ralph. Look at that nice color. That's what we want.
To tell folks, of course, to be very careful. Turn them slowly, but with confidence. That's the way.
There you go.
Don't be nervous or skittish, because that's how you splash and burn your pretty little face. We don't want
anybody's pretty little face burned.
That's right. Or their arms or any other problem.
No. So.
But yeah, this is fun. I've never actually fried anything that I can think of, but.
And that olive oil has such a wonderful.
Oh, look at the difference in some of the ones in the middle are much more.
Well, they're really in the hot spot.
The hot spot, yeah. And what were you going to say about the olive oil?
It just has such a wonderful aroma.
Yeah.
So what I've done is, once they're browned, I'm taking them out. You can see I have them on a plate with a paper towel lining. I'm going to get another one for this second batch. And then we'll assemble into our pan, which, by the way, we're going to spray with some nonstick spray, just to be on the safe side. And we'll put it all together. So I've got a wedge of Parmesan cheese here. I've got some shredded mozzarella, and we'll put together our wonderful
zucchini Parmesan.
So the Parmesan cheese I just got in a wedge, which is how I like to get it. And I'm grating it myself, and you can see, because we can't have zucchini Parmesan without the Parmesan.
Otherwise it would be zucchini mozzarella.
Exactly. These are smelling wonderful, and I think, yes, it is time to come off. So I'm going to get these out, and we'll come on back, and we'll put it together and get it into a 350-degree oven.
Oh, we're hip swinging to some Lawrence Welk on the hi-fi, on the portable turntable out on our deck. We are so lucky to have this beautiful day to come and cut some herbs from Kevin's beautiful herb garden.
Yeah, Ralph says, well, how about some fresh herbs? And I'm like, well, we can do that.
Actually, he said, why don't you go get them? I said, no, why don't you cut them and we'll film it.
Oregano.
Perfect.
You want some parsley?
Or
basil?
Basil would be good. I love both, but I think...
let's see. The basil's kind of getting to the end of the line.
Parsley, why don't we cut for our salad and sprinkle it
on? Oregano, this is all mint. Oh, how about a little thyme? I've got some rosemary. I don't know. Going like crazy.
Whatever you think will work.
A little thyme. Okay. Time is
So we're going to put this in the sauce
wonderful.
or on
Yeah.
in the casserole?
We can put it in the sauce, or we could even put it in the casserole. Sprinkle it around.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
You know, the thing is that, zucchini is one of those things that in and of itself doesn't have a lot of flavors. Zucchini is really a neutral.
Well, it's
So is
pretty
eggplant.
mild. They have a flavor, but they're mild.
So we got to put the flavor in, and that's what we're going to do with our herbs. This is a totally optional. We have these herbs, so we like to throw them in.
I do think anytime anybody has fresh herbs growing, and we do recommend that, put them in when you can, especially now that the season's kind of starting to wind down.
Yeah. So, I've got an 8 by 8 little baking dish here.
Square.
Now, if you had more zucchini, you could do probably, 1 or 2 more zucchinis, and you have enough for a 9 by 13.
Right. So if you
But
wanted
it's just
to,
us tonight,
yeah.
so
well, you never know who's going to drop by.
you never know who's going to drop by. We certainly have enough for the 2 of us and
So you
unexpected guests.
So you greased your 8-inch
Yeah.
square pan.
I put a little baking spray in there.
Could you put butter in there if you wanted to?
You could.
'Cause I'm a big butter fan.
I know you are.
All right, so then you put a layer of sauce or gravy,
Yeah.
as some folks call it.
And we're going to just now put our zucchini in here. And we're
I want to tell folks that when you said that zucchini is neutral, it
Yeah.
is, but we ate one of these zucchinis off camera. We just couldn't resist trying it. And I was thinking, yeah, small one. I said, this one has my name on it, a really cute little dark one like that. And I thought, it's really got a flavor almost like a pumpkin, like a squash, like, that type of, because that's, of course, the family that it's from. But so it does have a flavor, but it is subtle and great to enhance with some of these Italian seasonings that we're doing today.
So I've got Parmesan.
A layer of Parmesan after.
I'm just going to put a sprinkle of mozzarella because mozzarella gives that creaminess. It's so nice.
It's a good melting cheese.
Yeah, it is. It sure is.
So you did a tomato layer, the zucchini layer, a Parmesan layer, and then the mozzarella layer. Now you're doing.
I'm just going to
herbs
sprinkle
from the
some of
garden.
these herbs. We did basil, oregano, and thyme. Again, this is an optional step, or you know what? You could use a little dried herbs in here if you wanted to. Although when you're using dried herbs, use less than you do fresh because their flavor can be stronger. All right. Now I'm trying to do the big pieces first. Let's see how we do. And you know what I should have done?
A layer
of sauce. Let me just dot a little sauce here. No harm done. It's amazing. I don't forget more than I do.
But there's plenty of sauce to go around. So
yes, there is. So
you
we're going
just
to put a little sauce under here. Okay, and again, it's just to get that. It's all about getting the flavor
and
in place.
keeping it moist and delicious and wet.
Yep. So let me get the bigger pieces and then the smaller ones. And the zucchini's nice and tender here. And we'll put the little guy in the corner.
Oh yeah, this is great. I can't wait to try this.
And there, and let's squeeze our last guy in there. Okay?
And then another layer of cheese.
So there we go now. Parmesan.
When I was little, I used to think Parmesan, my mom was saying Farmer John cheese. I thought Parmesan was Farmer John. It kind of makes sense.
And we'll grate some fresh cheese over the finished product, okay?
You mean before it goes in the oven or after?
And then I'm going to put let's do the rest of our herb. No, when we put it on the plate.
Oh, okay.
We'll put a little more cheese on top. We're going to put the rest of our herbs in. And then I'm going to put a little more sauce on top of this here.
It's almost like you're making a pizza.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lasagna in a way, without noodles, of course. Now, we're going to end with the mozzarella because that, of course, is going to bake,
the melting cheese,
and kind of be our glue, so to speak, to put this all together here. Okay, how does that look?
That looks great.
Okay, so here we go. The oven's preheated to 350. It isn't going to need much more than about half an hour or so. Again, the zucchini's really cooked. The sauce is cooked. We just want the cheese to melt. We kind of want it to come together. So we'll pull it out in about 30 minutes and see how we're doing. Okay, I'm going to take it out of the oven. It's been in the oven 30 minutes. Oh, yes.
That looks very good. Mmm.
You can see it's...
Wow, that's zucchini parmesan. You sure it's not an eggplant? That looks like...
It's sort of bubbling around the sides, which is what you want.
But you can smell the tomato, the cheese, and the spices and herbs we put in it.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to let this hang and just kind of...
Chill.
Yeah, because it's real soupy right now. I want some of that water to get absorbed back into the zucchini.
So we're going to let it do its thing.
10 minutes. Okay, we're going to let it hold 10 minutes, and then we'll get into it.
Cut into it and have it for dinner.
Can't wait. All right, well, Ralph, you kind of let it rest for about 10 minutes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little piece right here.
Wow. Sure looks good.
There we go.
Zucchini Parmesan.
Zucchini Parmesan. Take a look. And of course you can see I cut right through the zucchini with the spatula, so it's nice and tender.
Let's give it the old taste test.
But isn't that really where the proof's always in the pudding?
Or in the Parmesan?
You know what?
I know what you're going to say. Every bit is good.
Every bite a delight. No, it really has a wonderful flavor. You know, it's a little different than an eggplant Parmesan, certainly.
Does it have that kind of pumpkin-y taste?
But you definitely get the subtle squash taste, and of course, you have the tomato sauce and the fresh herbs and the sharpness
all
of
Italian
the Parmesan cheese and the creamy mozzarella. So, you know what? When life gives you zucchini, make zucchini Parmesan.
Zucchini Parmesan.
That's our motto.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bon appetito. Thank you for being a part of this one. I hope you had a good time. We sure did. And use that zucchini for good, not evil.
Not evil.
Yeah. See you next time on Cavalcade.
Thanks, folks, for watching.
Bye. Ciao.